Namaste. So today I'm going to read Book 5, Chapter 22 on the eulogizing of the Devi by the Devas in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratu Namahakaya Koti Surya Samar. Hari Om Tat Sat. Vyasa said, O king, when the Devas were all defeated, Shumba began to govern all their kingdoms. Thus 1,000 years passed away. The Devas, on the other hand, deprived of their kingdoms, were all drowned in an ocean of cares and anxieties. At last they began to feel very much and were greatly afflicted. They asked with reverence their own Guru Brihaspati, O Guru, what are we to do now? O all-knowing, you are the great Muni, kindly say unto us if there be any means by which we can get rid of this our present crisis. There are thousands of Vedic mantrams which yield the desired results. If they are worshipped with due rites and ceremonies, and if all the rules be observed thereof, O best of Munis, many yajnas are mentioned in the Vedas that yield all the desired results. You know them all, so kindly perform those yajnas. Do all those ceremonies duly that are ordained in the Vedas for the killing of enemies. O descendant of Angirasa, you ought to perform as early as possible those sacrifices for magical purposes to destroy the Danavas, so that all our miseries come to an end. Brihaspati said, O Lord of the Suras, all the mantras mentioned in the Vedas yield the desired results, but subservient to the great destiny only. They do not give results of themselves, but do so in obedience to the laws ordained by nature. You all are the presiding deities of the Vedic mantras, but now by the strange irony of time, you are put to difficulties and troubles. What can I do now in this case? See, Indra, Agni, Varuna, and other gods are invoked in sacrifices. How then can sacrificial ceremonies do good when you are put to so great difficulties? Therefore, there is no remedy to those which will take place unavoidably, but those who are wise declare that in such cases means are to be adopted. Some sages say that fate is strong, but those who advocate the cause of taking remedial means say that fate is powerless. Remedies or mainly exertions lead to all success. But O king of the Devas, the embodied souls ought to resort to both faith and remedies. It is never advisable to depend solely on fate. Therefore, it is advisable to think out again and again, as far as one's own intellect goes, the best remedies. O Devas, I have thought over again and again on this subject, and say to you my opinion. Here in days of yore, the Bhagavati, being appeased, killed Mahishasura. And when you all praised and chanted hymns to her, she gave you this boon, that she'll remove all your sorrows and troubles no sooner you remember her. And she told that you all must remember her whenever any difficulty would arise to you out of this great destiny. She would then free you all of your ocean of great difficulties. Therefore, do you all now go to the highly sacred and exquisitely beautiful Himalayan mountains and worship the most beautiful Chandika Devi with your love and devotion. Know all the rules of the seed mantra of Maya and be engaged in taking her name accompanied with burnt offerings. I have come to know by yogic power that she will be pleased with you. I see that today your difficulties will come to an end. There's not the least doubt in this. I have heard that the Devi resides always in the Himachal. If you worship and praise and chant hymns to her, she will certainly grant you your desired boons. Therefore, fully decide on this thing and go to the Himalayas. O Devas, she will fulfill all your desires and carry out all your intentions. Vyasa said, O king, hearing thus his words, the Devas departed to the Himalayas, and they became all merged in the devotional worship of the Supreme Goddess and began to meditate constantly in their hearts the seed mantra of Maya, Hrim. They bowed down to the goddess Mahamaya, the discarder of all the fears of her bhaktas, and began to chant hymns to her with perfect devotion. O goddess, salutation to thee. O thou, the Lord of the universe, the Lord of our hearts, thou art the everlasting bliss and the giver of bliss to the Devas. Salutation to thee. Thou art the destroyer of the Danavas, and thou art the giver of all desires of human beings. Thou canst be approached with devotion. Salutations to thee. O thou, the incarnate of all Devas, thy names are endless, thy forms are endless, none can count them. Thou residest always as the force incarnate in all the actions, in the creation, preservation, and dissolution of beings. O Goddess, thou art the memory, consistency, intelligence, old age. Thou art the nourishment, contentment. Thou upholdest all. Thou art the beauty, peace, good knowledge, prosperity, and happiness. Thou art the goal, fame, and intellect, and thou art the eternal seed unmanifested. We bow down to those forms of thine through which thou dost serve the purpose of the Devas in this world, as we are now in need of peace. Thou art forgiveness and mercy. Thou art the Yoga Nidra, a state between sleep and wakefulness. Thou art the kindness of thou residest in all the beings, in so many forms, great and grand, and so very celebrated. O Goddess, thou hadst already served the cause of the gods in killing our great enemy Mahishasura, puffed up with vanity. Therefore thy mercy is well known amongst the gods, and what more, thy mercy is known since very ancient times, and it is narrated in the Vedas. What wonder is there that a mother nourishes gladly her own sons and preserves them carefully? For thou art the mother of the Devas, thou art the great source of help to them. Therefore dost thou fulfill all their desires with thine whole heart. O Devi, we do not know the limit of thy qualities nor of thy forms. O Goddess, thou art worshipped by the whole universe. Thou art fully competent to save all from dangers. We are objects of thy pity. Dost thou save us from our present troubles? Thou art capable to kill enemies without shooting any arrows, without striking any blows, without hurling any trident, axes, shaktis, clubs, or any other weapons. Merely by thy mere will thou canst kill, still for sports and for the good of all beings. Thou incarnatest and fightest for the sake of Leela. The ignorant persons know such things as birth, death, etc., that this world is not eternal, that no action can be without any cause. We therefore ascertain by reasoning and inference that thou art the supreme cause of this whole universe. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Mahesa is the destroyer. So it is related in the Puranas. Thou again hast given birth to these three gods in the respective cycles. Therefore, thou art the mother of all. There is no doubt in this. O Devi, in days of yore, these three devas worship thee. Thou wert pleased and gavest them all the best powers. Being thus endowed with thy powers, they have been able to create, preserve, and destroy this universe beautifully. Art they not foolish, though they be yatis, persons of self-controlled nature, who do not worship the universal mother, the consciousness incarnate, the giver of liberation, on whose feet are worshipped by the devas, and worshipping whom one gets the fruits of all one's desires. Certainly those Vaishnavas, Sauras, worshippers of the sun, and Pashupatas, worshippers of Shiva, are foolish braggarts who do not meditate thee as the embodiment of Kamala, prosperity, modesty, beauty, continuancy, fame, nourishment. O Mother, the Asuras, Harihara, and other great devas worship thee in this world. Therefore, those mortals are certainly deceived by their Creator that do not worship thee on the surface of this earth. O Devi, Hari himself serves the lotus feet of Lakshmi by coloring them toes and other fingers of the feet red with lakh juice. Hara is very anxious to serve the lotus feet and take the dust thereof of Parvati, Lakshmi thereof of Parvati. Lakshmi and Parvati are but thy part manifestations. Therefore, to serve them is, in other words, to serve thee. What to speak of other persons, even those who can discriminate between real and unreal, and those who have left their worldly homes and have become dispassionate towards worldly objects, even those munis worship forgiveness and mercy. That are but thy parts. Therefore, who is there in this world that does not serve thy lotus feet? O Devi, those human beings plunge into the dreadful wells of this samsara, the round of birth and death, and are deprived of all pleasures who do not serve thy lotus feet. What more can be said than the fact that those fallen beings suffer terribly from poverty, humility, leprosy, headache, and the chronic enlargement of spleen? O Mother, those persons are void of any wealth and wife. They are the carriers of loads of wood and collect grass and leaves and show their skill in such acts. They are of little understanding, and never they served in their previous births thy lotus feet. This we have come to know very well within our heart of hearts. Vyasa said, O king, when all the devas thus eulogized, instantly the Devi Ambika, full of youth and beauty, appeared there out of mercy, that extraordinary, beautiful Bhagavati, endowed with all auspicious signs, and adorned with the divine clothings, ornaments and garlands, and sandal paste, etc., appeared before the devas, before whom even the world enchanter Cupid bows down. With such beautiful divine appearance, the Devi emerged from the mountain cave in order to take her ablutions in the Ganges. That Devi, sweet-voiced like a cuckoo, gladly, smilingly began to say to the devas, singing hymns to her in a voice deep like that of a rumbling cloud. The Devi said, O best of Suras, whom are you praising constantly in this place? What do you want? Why are you so anxious and seem to be so much careworn? Do please tell all this to me in detail. Vyasa said, O king, the devas were first enchanted by her beauty and softness. Then, being encouraged by her sweet words, began to speak with great joy. O Devi, we pray to thee. O Lord of his universe, we bow down to thee. O thou, the ocean of mercy, protect us from all the troubles. We are very much careworn and tormented by the dangers. O great goddess, in ancient times, thou didst kill Maheshasura, the source of troubles to all, and then told us to remember thee whenever any difficulty would arise. Then thou wouldst undoubtedly remove all the troubles arising from the dangers. No sooner we remember thee. O Devi, we have now remembered thee for that very reason. At present, the two dreadful asuras, Shumba and Nishumba, have sprung up and are creating great disturbances, and they cannot be killed by any male beings. The powerful Raktavija and Chandamunda and other asuras united have dispossessed the devas of their heavens. Thou alone art our goal and refuge. Without thee there is none other to save us. Therefore, O beautiful one, thou dost do this work for the devas who are extremely troubled and distressed. O powerful Devi, the devas are always at the services of thy lotus feet. Still, the very powerful Danavas are throwing them into dangers. O Mother, thou art the preserver of the distressed, therefore dost thou preserve the devas devoted to thee. O Mother, the Danavas, being very much emboldened by their powers, are creating many havocs on the surface of the earth. Now remembering that in the beginning of the yugas, thou didst create all this universe, thou dost now ought to protect all this universe. Here ends the 22nd chapter of the 5th book on the eulogizing of the Devi by the Devas in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalinda Om Tuya Mata Chapita Tuya Tuya Bandhuscha Chasakato Shanti Shanti.